Alright, we are back. More casting Gold Division Winners Bracket Semifinals this time. So we spent a couple of days in the Losers Bracket clearing out some teams, and now we're back up to the top half to figure out who's going to the Winners Bracket Finals and eventually going to Diamond. Could possibly be one of these two teams. Wake of Gods taking on Prime Icarus, and Wake of Gods is interesting. A lot of TMM stars in this one. And they've done pretty well for themselves, to be honest. They beat... Who did they beat? Somebody... Chat Roulette Boys. That was pretty impressive, considering CZ was a solid team. But took them to 3 games, came out with a victory. Not bad. And gonna have a little bit of a tougher challenge here in Prime Icarus, but I think skill-wise capable of beating them. We'll see if the team play is there. Not sure. It's a bit of a new team. But Cluck Muck can be joining. How you doing, Cluck?
Hello, doing well.
That's
I just
good.
eaten, so ready to go.
And Cluck needs a jungle player, so if you are a jungle player and would like to join a team in Diamond Division, then feel free to message him, because he's probably going to take you.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's weird how hard it is to find good junglers. I mean, it's free money for anyone that's like good enough. So
Free money. All you have to do is know how to play Tempest. That's
Yep.
it. Can you play Tempest? Good. Free money from Cluck. And, well, technically free money from us too, but...
Yeah.
I don't know, Fusen says he can play jungle. Get him.
that's true. But as far as I know, he's actually captain of another team.
You're right. You know, I keep
I
getting
don't
this. My first thought was Insania, and now I've moved on. Right. I keep thinking, but these people already have teams, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Usually, it's not always an issue, but
Right.
usually.
Right. No. I'm just trying to think of good players who could play jungle and aren't necessarily doing that right now. The problem is a lot of them seem to be on other teams that are also kind of good. So one of these days,
Hey.
I'll come up with somebody. I don't know. Let's think about it though. How badly does Tree really need Fusen? Because he basically just feeds the entire time while Balthazar carries them to victory, and Boxy makes amazing plays, right? So
I don't know. I think I don't know. I have a hard time feeling they would do anything well without Fusen. He seems like he's kind of the glue holding them together.
Yeah.
But he might feed a lot. But
he
it's
does.
okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, he dies a lot because he's probably the hardest support player in HoN right now. Like, I don't know if there's any player that sacrifices more of his stuff for his team than Fusen does. Every other hard support player tends to get a little more, mostly because they take farm here and there, and Fusen just like, no, give it all to Balthazar. Because that's how they play their games, but... Oh well, Cluck's difficulties in finding extra players aside, they're actually moving through this draft rather quickly. Haven't used too much extra time on either side, so let's start talking about WoG versus PI. And PI probably the favorites in this one, but I'm expecting a good series, as WoG has shown some good stuff in the past, as I said before. Ophelia and Tempest, first 2 bans from Betches. Cthulhu and Swiftblade are going to get taken out by Slaskadret, and Parasite first pick from WoG, so Shorecan not going to get his signature hero, and they might actually run a dual support as a result of this because the other 2 junglers have been banned out. Legion side starting up with Parasite, Magnus, and Rhapsody, so pretty strong combination of heroes right off the bat. Hellborn going to go with Kraken, Glacius, and Silhouette, so Theratos getting a hero that he can play well. It's not a huge pool, but of the heroes he does play, he plays them quite well. And I'm expecting Znawi to play that Glacius, and Kraken could be Files, could be Slaskids. I'm guessing Files, but liking both these drafts so far.
Yeah, I like them. Both they seem to have like Glacius, good counter pick versus Parasite, and Magnus. And then they have the Rhapsody, also really good versus Kraken, because he all like brings everybody in there and you can just ulti and save them.
Yeah.
So yeah. And they have like Magnus. It's really when you play versus Silhouette, you always want like AoE stuns. So you like she doesn't have time to swap while you remove also. So that's really good. They have like solid catch on it. So both drafts looking pretty well.
And second stage bans go through as well. Geomancer, Torturer, and Empath getting taken out by WoG. Hellborn going to ban Dr. Repulsor, Warbeast, and Bloodhunter. So Hellborn focusing the brands a little bit more on that short lane carry type option. Legion looking for the 2 supports and the Initiator. Suicide, that is Geomancer, and then we'll first pick the Pharaoh out of the second banning stage, which is a little iffy in my opinion. You already have 2 melee cores, so those mummy walls can be very, very disruptive, especially against a Silhouette, who's probably not going to care about them too much because she's got Tree Grapple and Swap. So, a little iffy on the Pharaoh pick personally, and it's not like they have a Tempest either, so that the Pharaoh is going to do all that much. I like Pharaoh, I just don't know if he fits this lineup all that well.
No, I definitely agree. Like, Pharaoh needs time to make damage.
Right.
Like, he needs his Hellfire to tick for 8 seconds, and you won't have that time versus a Silhouette.
Yeah.
Or a Kraken, for that matter. So,
And,
I'm not sure about that pick.
Picking Pharaoh into Kraken is especially strange, especially because of how well the release of Kraken is like, oh, good, you've trapped a bunch of people in an area and they can't move. Thank you for that. I'm going to drop my ultimate on your face now.
Yeah.
I mean, it works well with Rhapsody. I guess the Dance War does a similar thing, which is nice, but a little odd. I mean, personally, I would have preferred maybe another ranged hero, as they now have a lot of melee cores, but I'm kind of wondering where they're going to go on the Hellborn side, because I mean, PI doesn't play that many dual support lineups. They do typically try to get a jungler for Shortcan, and they don't have that many options here. I don't actually know how versatile Shortcan is. He's mostly just been able to play Parasite, Tempest, Ophelia. He hasn't been forced into non-traditional junglers like even Keeper of the Forest, much less Legionnaire, Solstice, that kind of thing. So
yeah.
We'll see.
What is good for them is at least that they're Hellborn, so they can try and like, the reason why like Keeper is bad is pretty much only because he's really passive early game. And since you're Hellborn, they can kind of wait and see if they actually have a possibility to man up, and then see what kind of jungler or support they need.
Yeah. So for that reason, Bubbles solid pick, and I don't know. We got 2 File heroes. It feels like both Kraken and Bubbles feel like they're going to be played by File, and I suspect that's not going to be the case unless he's really, really good. I don't think anybody's that good. I don't know. Gemini. Okay, again with the melee cores. Like, really?
Oh no, Gemini.
I don't know about this. Is really iffy to me. I really would prefer something like a Puppet Master. And Lego. Gave me the choice. So Shortcan apparently does play Lego. But that Gemini pick, I don't know. Seems kind of terrible.
Yeah. I agree. I really like the Legio pick. I feel like he won't have any issues this game.
Yeah, I mean, who's
like
going to do
Parasite
anything?
manning up.
Right.
What do you mean?
I'm saying, who's going to do anything against Lego? Like, he's
Yeah.
going to be able to get in those fights.
Like, in Team M, you can like try to pick Parasite and go into Legio's Woods, but it doesn't work even close to as well in real games. Like, because then you can just collapse on their jungler really easily. Like, all the mid comes and top comes and you just kill that guy and get a free kill instead of him actually doing any work. So usually ends up backfiring if they try to do something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're not going to like. Legio is super good when you can't punish the Legio. He's one of the better picks, jungle picks to have.
Yeah, he's one of the fastest farmers in the woods. Probably the fastest farmer actually, if when he's played correctly. And he also has some gank presence as well. It's not like he's completely passive like that Cure of the Forest as we were talking about earlier. He can show up on that top lane every so often and try to do some damage. But Legion side gonna run 4-man top and perhaps look to ward out some of these camps for Legionnaire, which is a pretty common strategy against a Lego pick. You often try to see people ward up at least the small camp and very often 1 or 2 of the medium camps as well. So I'd expect that to happen right here. Rhapsody's currently sitting on 1 Rev Ward and 2 Wards of Sight.
Can we do a fast sync up?
I am okay on the. You want to do replay or in game? Let's do in game. I'm 43 seconds, 42, 41. Actually, sorry, there's some action happening here. Lego gonna get caught out right in the beginning. Mummy Walls are there as well, and he's definitely gonna fall. Really, really unfortunate start there for Shortcan, as he's gonna be down a little bit right off the bat, and he's also gonna have his camps blocked. So far left one gonna get taken out by Rhapsody, and she'll be placing some more wards. There's a pull camp. Anyway, so sync up 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16.
Yeah, I'm
15.
good.
Right.
But man, I don't think he bought before he died.
I don't think so either. He's sitting on 263 gold, so he not only didn't
That's
buy,
really,
he actually had a lot of gold saved up.
that sucks. That's not what you want.
It's kind of sad time. So Shorehand gonna be off to a bit of an iffy start. So I'm super curious actually. He's got a stout shield or iron buckler plus his own regen, unless somebody else pulled that to him, and he picked it up off the ground. So how could it feels like he didn't lose any gold?
Well, he's minus KPM, so he must have lost a little bit
Yeah.
of gold. But I mean, yeah, maybe not that much, maybe like 30 only, I guess.
You know
I don't
what
know how
I
much you lose
bet
level
he
1,
did actually? I bet he bought something on the courier and immediately sold it. So he bought
But
something.
you can't do that. Like when you buy something and you die, you can't sell it for full value.
You can't?
God.
Damn. I
The
did
game
not
just
know
crashed.
this. Alright, well, let me know when you're loaded back in, and we can resync once again. But in the meantime, have a game going on here, because my computer doesn't crash when I play HoN. Anyway, middle lane, it's going to be Kraken up against the Rhapsody and Magmus lane, so solid there from the Legion side. Kraken not unfamiliar with being forced against a dual lane in the middle, and you should be mostly fine here. Going to be really difficult to kill him even with a double stun combo, so I expect Celeste Red to have not too much trouble. Yeah, so Twitch chat says he revived before 15 seconds and sold, so I don't know what information that you've got there, Clock, but
Do they have... I'm gonna watch
chat
it.
disagree.
I'm almost 100% you can't do that.
Well, I feel like...
I mean, if you arrive before, like, 15 seconds maybe, but...
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean,
watch this
your death timer is going to be less than 15 seconds
yeah.
at level 1, so you will have the window to sell that back again. And that's the only way I can figure him having as much gold as he did, because he didn't look like he lost any gold. And
I'm just thinking, how much gold do you actually lose, though, level 1? I mean,
you should lose...
you don't die
200.
that much level 1 with gold, so, I mean, I'm not sure how much you lose. Like, it could be super small.
Yeah, maybe it is. Anyway, top lane, Pharaoh gonna put the Momo's out, and we'll push Silhouette back a little bit. So we've got a Pharaoh Silhouette lane in the top, and Sil should be just fine here, even without any support, as Pharaoh's basically gonna have no opportunity to kill her whatsoever, even though short range. Silhouette has the tree grapple to get herself out of the mummy walls, and once she's done that, Pharaoh basically can't do anything. Middle lane actually is now gonna die, as I completely missed that. He did rotate over to the mid, try to help out Kraken a little bit, but a nice gank from Parasite will help clean up the kill. So, WoG off to a solid start here, 2-0. And PI. Bit on the back foot at this point. Obviously losing the Bloodlust really early, and then having Glacius die in the middle lane. Poor Glacius sitting on just a health potion. No stats for you. Are you loaded back in?
No, I'm watching the stream though. But I mean, that's really unfortunate. I mean, that's like, it would have been better if he just didn't came through lane.
Up top lane, actually. Silhouette's gonna die. And Certos, that's a pretty serious misplay, because there's no reasonable way that Pharaoh should be able to kill Silhouette like that. She did have a tree grapple on cooldown, so she must have used it in some capacity. And they're taking advantage of that, so WoG off to a pretty fantastic start actually now, as they're getting kills in multiple lanes on multiple heroes. Glacius going to come back top to continue trying to zone out this Pharaoh, but at this point, Glacius cannot do that anymore. Pharaoh's got boots, and he's just straight up not going to care if Glacius tries to screw with him. So, bit of an iffy start here for PI, and they're not down enormously. Actually, the experience lead is slightly in their favor, and they're only less than 1,000 gold down, but really not where you want to be right off the bat. And in the bottom lane, And top lane, sorry, Glacius. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. Glacius cannot be here, really. We'll put the freeze onto Pharaoh, actually, and he might be okay. Nope, Pharaoh's again got boots. He's chasing by the Hellfire, and there's the kill. So, nothing that Glacius can do about that, essentially. So, we're trying to get a counter kill off this, but Pharaoh going to be able to walk away, no problem. Shuriken going to be able to gank. Middle lane actually cracking, taking a lot of damage. One more auto attack from Magmus. No! Turns it around with the splash, and Magmus with some issues. Diving the tower, trying to get that kill, is unsuccessful. Pharaoh sort of jumping the Legionnaire in the woods, but neither of them died. Bot lane one we haven't talked about as well. Sorry?
Oh, well, you saw Kraken killing Magnus. I was like, no. Bye.
That splash, yeah. That's why I love Kraken 2v1. I think that's probably his best role in mid. Mid 2v1 is, like, that's exactly where I want Kraken to be.
Well, yeah, you get one kill and then it's like you've been 2v2 all the game.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to get him now.
Right. And that's not super uncommon, especially once he hits level 6, and obviously doing that before he even had access to his ultimate, but now that he has his ult, Magmus and Raps need to be pretty damn careful, because if Rap gets caught out of position, she's dead. There's no way that she can get away from the Kraken combo. And if Magmus uses his charge a little bit too aggressively, or his Lava Surge, then he'll die as well, but... Cluck, how are you not loaded in yet?
Apparently it didn't work when I tried to load. I don't know. My computer is going ham. Just crashed again now. I don't know. I'm trying.
Alright.
Have faith.
Well, if there's only a minor delay in the stream. Bottom lane, actually, Gemini going to split up to avoid the kelp field damage. Glacius coming in here. We'll get a freeze on one of the dogs, but Bubble's going to be in a lot of trouble. Shell Surf counter. Last auto attack will finish off Gemini. Is the health bucket going to be enough? No, it's not. Catman Champion Nuke finishes off Bubbles. Parasite now going for another kill on the Glacius. Will get them as well. So, Vetch is picking up a double tap in the bottom lane, as they do lose the Gemini. So, not a terrible trade for Hellborn, but not really what they're looking for in the end either. Feeling that short laner very important, but... not great. But speaking of that short laner and Bubbles, actually top lane, sorry, Pharaoh going at it with Silhouette. Tree Grapple is there. Silhouette going to try to turn this around. One more auto will finish off the Pharaoh. So Certas getting a little bit low with the aggressive play. It pays off this time. And PI coming back a little bit with a couple of kills in various lanes. But bottom lane, File's at 235 GPM and Gemini's at 247. Surprising? I feel like that's surprising.
The Gemini doesn't have good GPM?
Yeah, against Bubbles, I feel like that should, like, Gemini should be okay in this lane.
Bubbles is really annoying to play against,
that's
as most melees short lane. It's something I don't know, kind of learn while drafting. That's like most carry players do not like this matchup at all, because he's really annoying. Like Bubbles is one of those heroes, like if he gets levels and get like room control, his harassment is insane.
Yeah.
You can really
difficult
shut
to
down
kill.
your farm.
Parasite hasn't been doing too much ganking either. Top lane actually do get a kill on Shorecan as Pharaoh finds him in the woods, and they really can't seem to make a turn here. Kraken gonna come onto Pharaoh actually, so it looks like Pharaoh will fall. Drops the mummy walls, but Kraken in a pretty fantastic position as a result of the displacement. So they do get the counter kill on Pharaoh. Not the worst trade for Hellborn once again. And Bubbles will return to the bottom lane. So the other thing is, Parasite hasn't ganked too much. And I'm kind of surprised. We saw him move middle once, we saw him get a double tap on the bottom lane, but 2 ganks in 8 minutes, that's not all that much.
Yeah. Well, at least he's farming well.
Yeah, 300 GPM though. A significant portion of that is the fact that he's 2-0-1. Speaking of ganks in the lane by Parasite, they're going to come in the middle. Actually, Glacius will get the freeze off. Silence is still available from Kraken, but she'll charge away, no problems. Now going to take death instead. Shelter coming back in from Bubbles. Going to get the kelp field down? No, actually. And for the silence, there's a Wiz Kraken with the kelp field. A lot of trouble for this Legion team. Now Magnus going to be in a lot of trouble. He will be the first one to die. Looks like he might be the only one to die. As the Hell Cannon has been taken over by Parasite. Shortcan on Legionnaire, looking to perhaps follow this up. The Legion side has backed off. And that'll be the end of that engagement. Ends up being a 1-for-1 in favor of PI as they trade their support for the opposing team's mid lane farmer.
Oh, I just watched that. Wow, that take cover though.
Yeah.
That was insane. And then the charge out of the ultimate into the cliff. Damn.
Not bad.
That was big.
And Kraken just bought
what?
Beast Heart. Sorry, no, keep going.
B start. Wow. I'm not sure. I think it's fine to actually go like B start if you think that you're going to be able to get your PK soon enough anyway. Because you can't. It's really hard to kill anyone like a Kraken with the health,
right.
or like it's really hard to even lane against.
I mean,
you really lose that initiation factor.
He's already got 1200 health, and to be fair, they may not need it. They have bubbles and Legionnaire, so they don't necessarily need Kraken doing anything. Actually, bot tower does get killed by Parasite, that damn Hell Cannon. Because that's what happens.
Do you want to sync up?
Yeah, so you finally got back in? Only took you 10 minutes.
Yep.
Alright, I'm at 10-10, 10-11, 10-12, 10-13 on the end game, 10-14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright.
I'm good.
We've got the clock back. That was nice. Triple stack Nature's will be taken out as well.
Yeah. It's nice, always good to see.
Top lane, Silhouette Illusion is going to be spotted up by the Invis Magnus, but okay, so we're about 11 minutes in. WoG more or less even on gold, pretty substantially behind on experience though, which is kind of surprising considering it's dual jungle. And
yeah. I mean, PI fucked up a bit in the laning phase, but I really feel like Hellborn had the stronger laners.
Yeah.
So even though they got the kills, like it didn't really matter.
I think it probably comes back a little bit to the fact that they're running a 4 melee core lineup. Like, they're just having so many issues against these various range heroes. Glacius is going to get found out and killed. Pretty much nothing you can do about that.
Glacius is and also like one big thing is that all the deaths are pretty much on Glacius.
Right.
I mean most of them. So
well,
I mean that sucks for him. But
yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean half.
That's why I'm backing you up here. I'm not trying to disagree with you. I'm like,
oh, yeah.
if you've got over 50% of your team's deaths, then you're dying a lot, or your team isn't dying at all. But
another one thing, like they have super good. I didn't think about this before, but they have super good heroes versus melees. Both Kraken. I mean, 4 melees versus Kraken, super annoying. 4 melees versus Bubbles, super annoying.
Yep.
4 melees versus Legionnaire, also super annoying. I mean, it's going to be really easy for them to get big spells off in teamfights later.
Hell, I think you can extend it to Glacius and Silhouette as well. I mean, Silhouette doesn't have the most range, but the fact that she's as mobile as she is makes melee heroes very annoyed because they have to get to her, and then she gets away, and they're like, well, crap. Now I have to get to her again, and Glacius AoE slows, freezes, and trying to get through him to stop that ultimate is going to be a bit of a problem. So, I mean, this is just, like, you don't pick 4 melee cores for similar to this reason. Top lane, Pharaoh going to get in some trouble, drops the Muggy Walls, trying to save himself, but I don't think it's going to happen. Last out attack from Seratons will kill Crush 1, and Rhapsody actually going to complete her port to the top lane. We'll be able to get some experience off this, and some gold maybe.
Yeah, I don't think you should cancel there. I mean, it's free XP.
Yeah, why not?
That's a sport that can be pretty good.
It's, I do have to give some props to this Kraken, who is absolutely crushing. I mean, 2 versus 1, he is the top farmer in the game. He's also the top experience in the game, and he's a pretty significant reason why PI is doing as well as they are, because in a 2v1 lane, he's managed to do extremely well. 3-0-0. He's had some help, of course, with some ganks, but Kraken having a pretty fantastic time. Bottom lane, Gemini going to get jumped by the Kelp Field, will run away, but he gets stunned by it as well. Level 11 Kraken looking to drop the ultimate right on his face. He's actually going to be able to run out of it a little bit. Leech is there as well. Face hug onto Kraken. They're trying to slow him down as much as possible. It's pretty hilarious how little damage Kraken's actually taking from that. So, 2 ultimates used by the Hellborn team. And out Bubbles using these shell streams to go back, but got stunned at the perfect time. And Fio will die for that. So, Gemini hard to pin down and kill, thanks to his elemental force. Ends up getting away, they get a nice counter kill.
He has a really weird item, his spec, if you look at the dog.
Yeah.
He has no in the nuke. Max escape.
Yeah, we've seen stuff like this before he's where you go, you max your stun, you get 1 point elemental force, you level up your ultimate when you can, and you get everything else in the stats. And top lane Pharaoh did. I was wondering if that was going to happen or not. But
I thought you maxed your passive and only got like 1 in your escape.
well, I don't think.
Why would you level it? I mean, why don't get more points into stats? Anyway.
I guess that the additional gain isn't that good, but it kind of is. It feels like if you're going to go that build, then you should probably max elemental force before you start maxing stats. And you should probably get at least 1 point in your nuke, because it's going to give you at least a slow.
No, you don't. You like, I don't know. The way I thought you believe was like you get 1 in escape, max elemental force,
right,
and take stats whenever possible,
right,
pretty much, and the ulti whenever possible. Then you become this really tanky mess that's really hard to kill.
Yeah.
And since your ulti foam doesn't need you to actually have any levels in Q or W, you got those nukes all anyways.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah, I agree. That makes a lot more sense. So, bit of a weird build, but I guess it kind of worked.
Yeah.
Perhaps he's getting a shield of the 5. Is she going plated Greaves here? That must be the case.
Guess so. Guess that's fine.
Yeah. I gotta say though.
I like.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I'd say that the lack of Ghost Marchers in the Legion team is a little bit of an issue for me. I mean, Pharaoh looks like he's going for Steam Boots. The only one that has Ghost Marchers is the Parasite. And
lack of Ghost Marchers?
Yeah.
How do you figure
Well, I feel like with more melee heroes, you need to be more mobile, because with all the Steam Boots, they're going to have to be working around each other in the middle of these team fights. So, like, it's so much easier to get blocked if you don't have Ghost Marchers, because you don't get a phase effect. And then, of course, it's harder to get onto people. Man, I'm just missing all these kills on Pharaoh, aren't I? Nullstone eats a Parasite Leech. Yeah, it's not necessarily something that everybody's going to agree with, but I feel like having more phase boots on heroes is more important, because in the middle of a team fight, it's going to be harder for you to position yourself, and it's going to be harder for you to move around and get stuff done, because you have to run through creeps, you have to run through your teammates, and various stuff. I don't know.
No, I agree the way you think it is correct, but I mean, it would be kind of weird if they went over Facebook. Yeah,
here in the middle lane, lots of stuff happening. Rhapsody Ultimate not doing all that much in the background. Decapitate from the Legionnaire will be able to kill Parasite. Release the Kraken that goes on to Gemini in the background. Glacius also dies. Gemini going to fall for that. It's a 2v2 so far. Rhapsody Ultimate, of course, has already been blown. She's going to get chased down a little bit. Shell Surf did not connect, but Bubble's going to provide some vision. Here comes the Eruption getting channeled out in the background by Magnus, and they're going to try to kill Certas here. He does not have an illusion, so he's going to die. And Bubbles will be able to get out just fine. So in the end, WoG coming out with a pretty good fight. They trade carries, but they also get the opposing team's jungler and a support for their jungler and carry. A little bit of an advantage. They also stopped that mid-tower push.
Huge Rhapsody Ultimate.
Yeah.
Pretty much shutting down the whole initiation by Elbow.
Not bad. Looks like Kraken. That was Portal Key. So, early Helm, certainly not hurting him. As we'll have a PK and one more CS. Now he's got it. And 18 minutes, not bad timing at all. 387 GPM for Slasky Red. Certus now getting up there at 423, and nobody in the Legion side's actually farming all that well. So this Gemini is not doing great.
Pharaoh doesn't really have any farm either. So
Bit of a problem.
I like Pharaoh. I don't know. I think sometimes it works, but most of the time it's just you never have farm and never do anything. I feel like.
Speaking of him, he's gonna die again. He's died 6 times now, on par with the Glacius in total deaths. Also gonna turn this into a mid-tower push. So yeah, getting something out of that as well. This Gemini is also not split farming, so he's in his dual dog form, but he's not sending one to base or sending one to the woods while the other one farms the lane or anything like that. He's just using both of them in the lane at the same time to farm. Which seems odd. Like, if you're gonna do that, you might as well move them around separately.
Well, he doesn't have any nukes, so he can't farm if he doesn't have both dogs. Kinda the downside. His build.
Don't you get the Did you not get the nuke if you don't have it leveled up? I thought you did.
Yeah, you get the nuke, but you need to be in dog form, and I mean you need both nukes to clear a wave, I think. So I'm guessing that's why.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, he is still running around in the woods, continuing to try to increase his GPM. Going to approach 400, but now Cerato's getting up to the 500 GPM range, and he has his nullstone already. This is the point where Cerato's becomes a bit of an issue on this hero because of how well Silhouette can farm and how well she can split push. Obviously, continuously pushing this top lane, and PI. They probably have inferior push, to be honest. Like, they got a Rhapsody and a Parasite on the Legion team, both of whom are going to push reasonably well. Hellborn don't really have too many push-oriented heroes, but they're actually at the advantage in the tower kills. And I don't know, like, this feels like a weird game for WoG. Like, they want to get ganks, but who are they going to kill?
Yeah, that's the kind of the problem. Like, they have no good way to kill the Silhouette. And that's when the hero becomes a real issue. Like, then it's pretty cancer.
Like, no joke, I think Lego might be the easiest gank target on this Hellborn team. He did just pick up a Mighty Blade, so he's going to have a little bit more health, but he's not that tanky yet. His portal key is going to be his main form of initiation and escape. And top lane, Magnus will be fine.
Yeah.
But Kraken's tanky is all hell, and he has a portal key. Silhouette's Silhouette, Bubbles is Bubbles. So, nope, Fair gonna get caught out once again, release the Kraken and a Torrent, and the Kelpfield gets dropped as Cerato's is there as well for good measure. So, they really do not like this Pharaoh.
He's kind of a non-factor. Pretty much just giving them more farm than doing anything good himself.
And I mean, I feel like Pharaoh's one of those heroes that he can be impactful even at 160 GPM, just because his skills are so powerful. But he's not. Like, he's not initiating fights, he's not counter-initiating, he just keeps getting picked off over and over and over. So
yeah,
he doesn't
but
walk out of plans.
like, at the same time, who can he kill? He can kill Gracious. And
I don't. He shouldn't be killing people by himself, but with Parasite and Magnus, really, you can't find targets to kill. Like.
Yeah, but I mean, even with him, like, okay, Parasite, Pharaoh, who are they going to? They can maybe kill Bubbles if they get, like, manage for Parasite to actually get the silence off, which is pretty hard, but these are not optimal heroes for a Pharaoh to gank at all.
Right.
If you look at it that way.
And that's just goes back to what we were saying a second ago. It's just very difficult for the Legion team to kill a Hellborn in general by getting pickoffs, and that's really the way their lineup is oriented. Like, this is a gank-oriented lineup on the Legion team, and it's just not going to work. Or at least it's not working right now. Kraken's going to find a couple of people stealing Ancients here. We'll see if he does anything about it. Gemini and Parasite going to try to get away. Kraken has a portal key, tries to get a charge, does not manage to finish it off. Actually popping his puzzle box.
And then they're gonna kill the Ancients, yeah.
Nice attempt to steal some resources, but PI continuing to grow their lead. 7k gold, 8k experience.
Cerato's forming out of his mind.
Yeah, this Silhouette is becoming a problem. I wouldn't be surprised if she's going to go for Geometer's Bane and then Shrunken Head.
Oh, no, not Shrunken Head.
Really?
Yeah, no. It's really only bad Silis go for Shrunken Head. Promise you.
We see most Silhouettes go for Shrunken Head, but they're going to be able to catch Gemini with these stances and the stuns. He dies to neutrals. Really?
Lol.
That's ridiculous. Like, he had 4 heroes on him, he dies to neutrals.
Legion tower.
I don't know. Middle lane tower is going to be denied, and they're going to try to catch out this Pharaoh. Cerato's trying to chase him down a little bit. Charge forward from Kraken, they'll get the torrent down, and that'll be 1 kill. If you also manage to get the top tower, Absolutely could be in some trouble as well. Nullstone's still up for Cerato's, which means that no staccato stuns. Magma's going to have the Lava Surge on in. Bubbles with the Kelpfield, though, onto Mag, and she's going to take a stun. As a result, no, gets silenced out. Take the Kelpfield as well, as he did not plan his route very effectively. Rhapsody will be able to port out, so Jarl taking the death for his teammate. Probably on a great trade. That's PI.
Yeah, like, they're just slowly losing this.
Yeah.
Silhouette is just doing so much work. Like, she's pretty much all over the map all the time, making it really hard for Legion heroes to farm.
And it's just weird. It's weird and funny because like this is what Legion should be doing. This is how their lineup is built: is to run around the map like this, find heroes every so often, pick them off, make it difficult and scary for them to farm, and take map control through ganking. But they're just not doing it, and for good reason. It's not. Can't. Rap's gonna get found by Silhouette. This is a fake. We'll see if she ports in. Dance Tour goes down. Certas, do you want this? Yep. She ports in, then leaves. Anyway. What does WoG do? I don't know.
No, I don't know. I think like it's been over for like 7 minutes now. I feel. I can't see Certas not carrying this. I mean, like this is where you want to be, Silhouette.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That was good that they killed that Mauler before the Ice Imprisonment did, because Glacius has 663 health, so that would have nearly killed him.
Yeah, and he took cover as well, so
Yeah.
nice. Nice play by Philly.
It's File.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Philly.
No, it's File.
I don't care.
It's File.
I like to say Philly.
I've talked to the man himself. He says it's File. It's actually it's spelled F-I-I-E, because the second I is capitalized.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
If you look up his stats and you type F-I-L-E, it won't give you him, it'll give you somebody else. And then you type F-I-I-E. And...
I'm gonna call him Fight then. That's more fun.
Not only you...
It's like a Boxel as well.
Yeah, although he's got the boxy name too, actually, now. It used
Yeah,
to be Boxel,
it
now it's
doesn't
Boxy.
matter.
Yeah, still pretty funny. But...
They're gonna do Congo now.
This game feels so inevitable.
I mean, just look at Silhouette. It's not me. I mean, even they try to kill her now, how?
Now they do have to port back, because Legion are pushing this pretty effectively. And they're gonna stop the Congo attempt.
That's pretty poor decision making by PI, I feel, but...
Shortcan wants something. Everybody's jumping on everybody else. Portal key's going off. No real skills being used. Kraken getting destroyed. Release the Kraken does get dropped onto the Gemini Dog. And Shortcan gonna drop the ultimate. Immediately cancel the Rap Dealt with a Kelp in the background. Glacier down for it, not doing too much. And they do manage to kill Jonathan on Gemini as well as Shortcan's Legionnaire. Magmus now trying to run away. That's not gonna happen as he gets locked down. Rhapsody in the background in a lot of trouble. Puzzle Box Mauler is still infested by Parasite as Kraken bought back and came into the fight once again. Here's Farah. They're gonna try to kill this Kraken. I think they're going to be able to do so. So Slask and Red dying twice in this fight. And in the end, it is probably in favor of the guys. I think kills Sally too. What a rocket from Crush 1. Picks up a hat trick and he's at 215 GPM. So in the end, very positive fight there for WoG actually. As I don't know why PI did that. Why would they try to fight so far outside the base? Like,
yeah, they're kind of not playing their lineup right when they do that. But I mean, yeah. It was really good counter initiation by Magmus, just stunning in, and while the Kraken was out of position, they just bursted him down.
So maybe that's their avenue. Is, I mean, not just PI making some mistakes here or there, but forcing fights. And I mean, maybe we're not giving up this lineup on the Legion side enough credit for their team play. They do have Magmus Eruption and Rhapsody Ultimate, so they've got some offensive and defensive capabilities with those R buttons. Maybe they can take team fights. I'm looking at these lineups and I feel like they shouldn't be able to, but that went pretty well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if your opponent's making a mistake and you're able to punish it, that's always like that's a team fight you want to take.
Right.
Always. That's usually like when I try to look for good team fights. It's like, okay, they missed a stun. Can we go right now?
Yeah.
And it's kinda just what happened. They just fucked up 2 initiations and then they just went. Well, they had nothing for about like 5 seconds or something like that.
And they will be able to catch out Rhapsody here, and she gets dunked down by Shorthand. course, the problem with that strategy is it requires your opponents to make mistakes, so if they don't, it's a lot less effective. Yeah. But at this point, you know, they are down a fair bit in both gold and experience, so they're going to be somewhat reliant on PI making some errors in order to come back, because as far as the theory craft goes, it's pretty difficult to imagine that the Hellborn side don't just have the better draft, especially considering their resource lead. But they're going to go for Conquer once again, and Legion side well aware of this. They keep scouting with the rocket. They got a ward of sight down there as well. And when PI try to do this, they're trying to push the top lane, which is fantastic because they don't really want to take these fights, and they're killing these towers rather quickly. So Cerritos will pick up a thing. Gemini actually get left behind by his teammate. Shortcan in some trouble. Release Kraken though goes onto Gemini, and they will be able to kill Gemini. The question is, will they get any counters for this? Shortcan just running away, 2 dead as Magmus falls as well. His eruption basically did nothing. And it looks like Pharaoh might be okay. He tries to pour it out. No, dunk from Shortcan as he comes back in off the side here. Parasite trying to run away from Cerritos, whose Josh's Band Illusions are killing the camp, which is very, very effective. He's going to get the tree grapple off, and he's going to need to stun this. And we'll get the stun. Yeah, it actually pops out of the thing, but it's not going to matter. Parasite too low when he pops out of that Vagabond. Ends up taking the death. So there's a team fight where PI did not make any mistakes, and it went very much in their favor, I would say.
I mean, imagine if they just backed when it said the Congo has been slain.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been fine.
The rest of the team did, but Jonathan was just sitting in the base for reasons that I don't understand. He was just there. Like, leave, man. The rest of his team had left, and they all fed trying to save him. But it's going to turn into a mid-tier 3 tower kill, as there's a buyback on Gemini, but he'll be back too quickly. Parasite does not have a buyout. He's back 21 seconds, so this is going to be mid-racks. Magmus coming in with a 2-man stun, trying to do something, but gets immediately called, and that's going to be a kill onto Magmus. Magmus does have a buyout. He might need to use it at this point. Cerritos' Illusion will be killed. He'll also drop the Geometer's Banes, and Erupt can do some damage, but they will be able to get away on the Hellborn side, so they take a mid, free racks. And that team fight that went well is suddenly going a lot better. PI.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. They two made one poor teamfight decision, and then the game just went from hard to win to like almost impossible.
Yeah, well.
Now we got Frost as well.
Yeah, that was weird
That's
for me.
really good versus Mealis as well.
Yeah, that's true.
You can kite them.
Alright, makes sense.
Now he's
Anyway,
probably gonna go
Shortcan dead.
Right? Shortcan, yeah.
Nice, he gets cut out.
That ward,
Not bad.
doing work.
4P away from Bubbles.
I mean, yeah. You really need to counter that ward. It's probably one of the best wards in the game to have at most stages.
But it's very, very
Like,
common.
even if you don't think they have any, you should just waste the counter ward just to check, I feel. Because it can do so much. Like, it allows Legion to farm their woods now. Like, without that ward, they would just need to go back. But instead, they can just farm all their camps instead.
Right. And it's so common, too, I feel like. I'm always kind of surprised when one of those wards gets put down and doesn't counter relatively quickly, between how easy it is to see somebody placing it and how common it is. I feel like, yeah. Should be more stuff, but now he's hurting pretty hard for gold in this game. He does have a push book and Striders, which isn't bad, but he is the only push book on his team, which is kind of surprising to me, actually. It looks like Kraken is going for Sheepstick. Is that what that is? He's got an ultimate orb. I don't know what else it would be.
Yeah, probably a Sheepstick. I don't think it's gonna go Nullstone. That would be really weird.
Yeah, and it's a stage in the game, too, and Nullstone would be very, very strange.
Yeah.
Oh.
Me.
All chat, real good. But I feel like they need a second push book on the Legion team. They do have a Pharaoh.
Yeah,
Push book
Bubbles.
just generally a
Probably
good
go
item.
one.
Speaking of which, Bubbles is Alcrone, so obviously against Parasite,
The Hellborn
that's
had
what that's
destroyed a
for.
Legion tower.
Yeah.
But Hellborn going to push back in. Token of Life is still on Cerritos, but not for much longer. Just a minute remaining. And so they're going to try to put as much damage into this tier 3 as they can, possibly get it used. He will pop his illusion, send it out to base. He's going to sit in here on this tower and kill it very, very quickly. Gemini, meanwhile, is backdooring this bottom lane, and he's going to take a tier 3 tower. The question is this worth it? He's not going to get racks from what the Legion side do, and Legion's second set of racks is more valuable than the Hellborn. This second set of racks is more valuable than the first set of racks, because it's infinitely easier to take the third set, as Jarl just gets destroyed.
But he has a buyback. Go buyback.
Has been destroyed. A Legion barracks has been destroyed. A Hellborn barracks has been destroyed.
Are they trying to trade?
Yeah, I don't know why though. Anyway, in the background, Short King gonna jump on a couple of people. Rhapsody ultimate gonna be there, and it will be stopped finally by the sounds from Bubbles. Kraken ultimate going down to lock people, and Blaze Eruption really not doing too much damage to the background. I do manage to kill Bubbles in the end. Kraken also gonna fall. Ceritas coming back up as this token was used. They will be able to finish off Rhapsody. Magma's gonna miss the Lava Surge stun now. Ceritas could possibly still be in some trouble, as there's plenty of heroes around here to lock him down and kill him, and yeah, they will do so. So they end up trading racks, but I still feel like that, and they lose a pretty bad team play, but I still feel like that goes in favor of PI. They got a couple of buybacks out, and they have buyout on all of their heroes. So, not that big of a deal. And so, PI in a good position.
Yeah, I mean, they died, but they got the racks. Definitely worth it. And I mean, Silhouette is one of the most annoying heroes to defend against, because you can just spam illusions to the tower, and I mean, it's really hard to deal with. But see, I mean, yeah, that's why I talked about the Shrunken Head before. You don't go Shrunken Head because you want stats that actually your illusion benefits from. So Frostwolf and Wingbow and Geo is really good for that. You can like buff your illusions to make super much damage. Then you just spam them to enemy towers.
I feel like the value of not getting locked down is pretty important though. So I mean, Shirai is so heavily in mobility. But anyway, they will initiate a team fight here without Silhouette. So this is going to be a 4v5 engagement. They're still doing pretty well. Shortcan is going to die right off the bat, but at least Kraken onto 2 heroes. Barbed armor is popped by Pharaoh, and that looks like that might be the end of it. No, Parasite going to get frozen out. Will jump back into an opposing team's Mega Creep, so Mega Creep's working a little bit against PI in that sense. Mark's point is, sorry, not Mark's point. Wow, Ceritas is back, sorry. I just watched the game yesterday with Mark's point, played a really good Silhouette, so I guess that's still in my brain, but PI coming back in. They did use a buyback on Legionnaire after he died in that fight, so he's right back in it. And Magnus trying to pick off the Courier. That's not going to happen. So PI going for Mega Creeps. No huge surprise there. They should be able to take this tier 2 tower out relatively quickly. Most of the Legion side is still up. And there's a buyback of the Parasite.
The Hellborn had destroyed a Legion tower.
But, okay, again with the backdooring. Magnus is going to go for the top racks, but he's not going to, like, yeah, like, what do you think you're going to do, Magnus? Anyway, they will catch Rhapsody out. That's a pretty big pick, actually, because her ultimates have been quite good this game. They will also be able to lock down Gemini for a little bit. Fair going to come in with a Wrath of Fair on it, too. Mummy Wall is disrupting everything. Eruption coming in the background as well. They will manage to kill Glacius. Shortcan in a lot of trouble as well. Shortcan going to mitigate some stuff, and he's going to be able to get killed. Ceritas also falling, so excellent hold from WoG, and that will prevent any further damage on the tier 3 tower, as well as
yeah,
racks.
that was... They're playing really cocky PI.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're in a hurry or something, I don't know.
I think they feel like they're more ahead than they are because of how farmed Ceritas is, but I mean, yeah. Shortcan's dying very quickly in these fights. Like, he's got 1700 health, and he's got a barbed armor and a shrunken head, sure, but he's just not eating as much damage as he needs to. So, honestly, I kind of question the shrunken head pickup from him. I feel like if he just gotten more damage, that would have helped, especially with the barbed armor. But Gemini going to get jumped by Kraken and Ceritas, who both used buybacks. Sheepsticks onto Gemini. They're going to try to counter this. Release of Kraken is not going to do anything as Gemini jumps out of it. Shellsur's going to finish off Magnus in the background. Pharaoh also going to die as he was caught by the Kelp Field. And freeze onto Parasite. He's trying to get inside of a creep, but he can't do so. And a pretty nice hold. Cost them multiple buybacks in the Hellborn team, but it does end up getting them 3 hero kills. And currently, Jonathan does have a buyback, but he didn't even die, so it's not a problem. Pharaoh's got a buyback as well. Nobody else does, so both Magnus and Parasite can be dead for a while. I think PI may be learning from their mistakes, though, and they're not going to go straight into the base, or maybe they will. Maybe that's exactly what they're going to do.
Looks like it.
Yep.
A Hellborn barracks has been destroyed.
They must have been
Yeah,
counting buybacks, but yeah, Gemini
they
would
got
take
racks.
the top racks, which isn't bad. They really can't defend this push, so counter pushing it actually isn't the worst idea in the world. They can go middle.
But I mean, he has buy a TP now and get up.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion
Well,
tower.
and they need Parasite and Magnus, and they're not going to be back for 10 seconds, so there's nothing that he can do at this point. That's
But they
gonna
had
prevent this.
buybacks. Oh, no, they didn't.
No, they don't.
Has been
Yeah.
destroyed.
Anyway, they're going to jump on top of Silhouette Illusions, and that's not going to be the greatest situation for him, as he's now going to take the Death Hurricane jumping into the taunt, and Mega Creeps are going to go through in favor of PI if they can finish off these racks. Gemini does manage to kill the mid-tower. Magnus, taking a lot of double damage, is going to fall. So, Gemini isn't going to be able to live through this. I don't think so. Kelfield's on him. He's trying to run away, but the silence does finish him off. So, Mega Creeps now in favor of PI. Their last racks are exposed, so they can somehow, on WoG, manage to get in there and kill those quickly. We could have Mega Creeps versus Mega Creeps. This is about as close as you're ever going to get to that. And yep, Jonathan's going for it. He's like, this is the best opportunity I'm ever going to get, but he's going to run right into Certas, so they know exactly where he is now. And at this point, it's going to get hard for WoG to win the game, but as far as beating Mega Creeps go, this is like your best opportunity ever.
Yeah, you need to go as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Before the minions just overwhelm you and you can't really get out of the base.
Jonathan feeling like he wants to go. He's just kind of sitting around there. And Kong going to be stopped, actually, by PI. So Parasite's in here as well. He's going to split up. He's going to try to take these melee racks, and ports are coming back for PI. They'll also use the Glyph of Fortification, so you have to get pretty careful about this. Pulse Box and the Post Haste coming in as well. Magnus is going to be here, but they're going to lock down Gemini with the release crack in the background. So now Glacius does fall, but Gemini, there he goes. He does not have a buyback, and I got to imagine that's game.
Yeah.
Parasite going to get caught out. No creeps for him to get inside of. And CC Voice being called here. And I wouldn't be surprised if those two. Parasite will fall. Baron going to caught on Keltfield. He's dead as well. And that's the game. So,
Hellborn wins.
WoG. I mean, they gave it a pretty solid effort in the end. I feel like they had a couple of opportunities to maybe win that game if they didn't make a few plays that they unfortunately did make. But ultimately, Prime Icarus does take the victory. And that'll leave them up 1-0 going into Game 2. Final thoughts on that game? Clock.
I just feel like WoG got a bit outdrafted. So,
Yep.
like, even if they played well, in the end it really didn't matter, because Hellborn was just so favored with the way both teams were built up.
Yep, and PI did not do nearly enough to throw away that draft advantage. In fact, they played it quite well, including Certas at 703 GPM. That's not bad. I'm sure they'll take it. Well, that's going to do it for Game 1. PI taking the 1-0 series lead, and we will move on to Game 2 in just a moment.